And last month, I told our Memory Cafe guests that Gary is sort of a cross between Shakespeare, William Carlos Williams, and Groucho Marx. So I don't know what Gary thinks of that. You can be the judge of that when you hear him now.
I was a florist. I worked at a flower shop for 18 years, but I always wanted to do something more masculine. So I became a poet. I'm Gary Glazner. I'm the founder and executive director of the Alzheimer's Poetry Project. And I began to do this work in 1997 in Northern California. I got a grant from a group called Poets and Writers, and no instruction on what to do, just to somehow use poetry. And I applied for the grant and picked an adult daycare center that was very close to the flower shop, so I could drive there in my lunch hour. And no instruction, just to somehow to use poetry. I hit on the idea of using classic poems that the people might have learned as kids. The moment of inspiration for me, the story that I love to share with people, is that there was a guy in the group, his head was down, seemingly unaware of his surroundings. And I said the Longfellow poem, I shot an arrow into the air, and his eyes popped open. He said, "It fell to earth, I know not where." And suddenly he was with us and was able to participate, and it was an incredible moment for me as a person and as a poet to see how useful poetry could be with this community. So at the same time, my mom, whose name is Frankie, wait, time out. So I was here a year ago working with you guys, and I had a day off, and it was an amazing day for poetry in the Boston area because it was the dedication of the Edgar Allan Poe statue. Yeah, you guys, he's a Bostonian boy. He came back. They have a statue of him. And the same day, they were having a rededication of the Longfellow bust. And they said, "Hey, we're having a party at the Longfellow house. Do you want to go?" And so I went. And then they said, "Do you want to meet Longfellow's great-granddaughter?" And I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." And I met her, and I got to share the story with her about using Longfellow's poetry. And then she said her name, Frankie. And I couldn't believe it. That's my mom's name, and we had this great experience. Time in. So at the same time that I was doing this work in Northern California, my mom had cancer, and the cancer had spread to her brain. So she had tumors, and she was on morphine. So she was having issues of memory and cognitive ability. And one day my dad called, and he said, "Your mom is really upset. She's really agitated. She's asking for cherry ice cream. Could you get some cherry ice cream and come and help?" I get a little verklempt at this part. My dad is one of these guys that never asks for help. So I knew it was bad. So I went and got the ice cream, and I remember this moment so strongly. I reached back to get the ice cream out of the car, and I had all the books with me from the workshop. And I just thought, I'm going to bring the books in and try them with my mom. And so I brought them in, and she started to eat the ice cream and calm down. And my dad's name is Billy. My mom and dad were childhood sweethearts. They became boyfriend and girlfriend at age 5 and 6. We're from Oklahoma. Now, my mom, Frankie, used to tease my dad, Billy, with the little rhyme, "Can you bake a cherry pie, Billy boy?" And that was one of the rhymes in the book. So I began to say the poem, and she began to sing it and to do these little hand motions. "Can you bake a cherry pie, Billy boy, Billy boy?" And again, it was this moment of clarity and playfulness, this time with my own mom, in hospice. She passed away about a month after that. And since that time, I've dedicated my life to working with PhDs. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share some stories with you about people I have the honor of working with. And I'm going to give you some simple techniques that you can use. I've gone around and I've got to talk to a few of the people who are here today, and I know that there may be applications in your organizations, in your personal work, in your personal lives, that hopefully you'll be able to use